Hi, everybody. Sorry, I was taking a drink right when I hit the live button. Good move. This is Connie, and it's 2 o'clock on Wednesday, and so I'm live to show you another project. And I have so many projects I need to do. For example, graduation cards. I got 2 graduations coming up. But I decided today to work with this Turtley Awesome set. This is that really adorable turtle set that's in the current catalog. And I don't know, there's something that spoke to me. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I gotta have that. And it hasn't caught the eye of a lot of people yet because there's so many things in this catalog that are amazing. But I pulled it out and I made like a whole bunch of turtles and messages and started coloring and doing different things to try to come up with some really great projects. And so I want to show you a few of those today. Let me go ahead and take this out in case I need to stamp any of the messages. I don't think I will, but just so it's there and you know what we're working with. This is the first one I made. It's a shaker. Do you love it? So the background of the card is basically just sponged with Seabrook and Glacier ink. And I think a little tiny bit of Lagoon I put here and there. And then I used the shaker die cut to cut out Seabrook. I made the little turtle in Seabrook. And then I am on a real use it up kick. I gotta tell you, after I went to that Daisy Lane sale last weekend, and first of all, I sold gobs. I haven't got I don't know exactly how much money-wise I sold yet, but I purchased $300 of stuff. Now, I added up the retail value of that, and what I purchased, easily over $800 of stuff. I mean, I brought home bags of stuff, which is crazy since I am in purge mode. But what I did was I focused on what I really use the most, which is stamps. I did not buy tons of paper. And I focused on really unique stamps like these that I'm drawn to. I'm drawn to kind of ones that other people may or may not be, into. And so I have a lot of really unique stamps in my stamp room. But every single one of my purchases were untouched. No one had ever used them. Can you believe that? Let me show you the only one. Let me grab it out of here. Just a sec. Okay. This is the only one that I purchased that had been used. And the only one that had, look at it, it's in pristine condition. Isn't that weird? Like, nobody loved it because that has not been used very much. And it's the only one of all of the stamps that I purchased. These haven't even been punched out, just the Santa. Of all the stamp sets I bought, and I bought a lot, like I said, I bought a lot. This was the only one of my stamps that had been used. All right, hold on. Gotta put it back or I'll forget. And then I should have just done a haul video, like just pull out all the stuff that I purchased because it was really fun to do. They had so many stamps. It was insane. Tables and tables. But it made me realize that there's a lot of us out there who have things in our stashes that we've never touched. Hi, Heather. So I have been on a massive use it or lose it kind of thing. Like, you got to use your old stuff. So I pulled this out, and I think this is from 2020, but I used the bubbles on this one. I thought that was really cute, and I thought about using the Just Keep Swimming thing. And you can see, here's the bubbles. I just did them really light on the card. And then, see if you can see it, I used shimmer brush on the bubbles. So you can kind of see, I just use clear shimmer to make them sparkle a little. In real life, it's like they kind of pop a little bit on the page. On camera, it's always hard to capture that kind of thing. But the other thing I used is my Bluebell sequins, because when I'm really drawn to these packs of sequins that sparkle so much, because you know the embellishments that are like rhinestones are so much more expensive, and if you can get like these little iridescent pieces in here, they really catch the light and they look so cool, and you can use them instead of rhinestones, and like this on the paper. And so, you know, I'm not a huge sequin fan just for the static situation, but I really love how this turned out. And I used my Bluebell sequins, and look, I used tons of them and have tons more. So I just wanted to show you I'm using up my stash. That's sort of my theme today a little bit. So there's the first card. Set that aside. The second card that I made, sorry, I'm unpiling everything, is this one. You Turtley Rock. And what I did was I took craft cardstock, and then I went through my stash of scraps and I pulled these out, and I'm like, okay, these don't exactly go together. They sort of go together. But I decided to make them work, and I made them into this card, and I think it looks pretty good. It's a color combo that I wouldn't normally use. But basically I used my little hexagon thin cut, which again, I'm using my stash. This has been in my stash for a while. I haven't used my hexagons very much. I decided it was time. And so I used the turtle that is sitting on his back, and then I made him wobble. Doing, doing, doing. He's so cute. Action wobbles are like these. You've probably seen them in craft stores or scrapbook stores or stamp stores or whatever, and not always, you may not know what they are, but basically they're just like a little plastic spring that you can use. There's the bottom, there's the top, there's a spring in the middle. Hope you can see that. And then basically whatever you stick it down to your project, and then the top can wiggle on the spring. And you can make your own. I've seen some YouTube videos where people make their own of these, but whenever I see them, I just buy a package. This is $6.50, which is the most I've ever paid for a pack of these. I think their prices have gone up, but usually at the stamp expos, these things are like, I don't know, $3 or something. Anyway, using that, I use that a lot for, I have this little Hawaiian girl, and I like to make her skirt shake, like her hula. It's a hula girl. And I like to put her skirt on one of these so that it looks like she's dancing. And it's just kind of a fun thing. It's kind of like all those interactive cards and the pull cards and all of that. It's like once you kind of start thinking about what you could use them for, you start coming up with ideas. You just have to go through your stash a little bit. So this is totally using up my stash except for my turtles, because I used my hexagons. I used more of my, these are melon sequins, which I don't know why I bought 2 packs of melon sequins, because like sequins last me forever. But I do like how they looked on there. So there's this card 2. So card 3, there is a thin cut called the Slimline Stitched Card Front and Background, and it looks like this in the core, and it looks like wood, kind of like a, and what it does is it cuts out the rectangle for a slim line, and then it puts this imprint onto your paper, kind of like tree bark. So you could make a really cool tree card with critters or whatever. And then there's also, that's on the outside. On the inside, is just the plain outer rectangle, which I didn't use this time. That's why it's still in the package. You can tell this is one I haven't used very much, because I always fold my sticky parts into my envelope because it drives me crazy to deal with those. But so you can see this is just a big stitched rectangle for the larger slim lines. So today I used this one because when I looked at it, I thought it doesn't have to be wood grain. It could be wind, it could be water, you know, so it kind of looks like things blowing or waves. So that's what I used it as, and I'll show you in using my stuff. I'm trying to use my stash. I used this. So here's what I did. I cut it down. There it is. And I cut it down so that I could make it a regular card front. And let's see. I'm like, do I have a card base? Yes, I do. Let me get that card base ready. Get my folder. So, speaking of wind, oh my gosh, did you guys see the news with the windstorm? 7 people died in that. That was absolutely crazy. Just crazy. I just can't get over how, you know, that's like those things you hear about, like the Dust Bowl in Kansas, when it was so dry and fields, you know, would blow around like that and people couldn't see. It's just nuts. Okay, so I'm taking my wood grain, wind, water, die cut. So this die cut, I kind of cut it down to be a card front, and this will be kind of covered a little bit. So you can see, I mean, it's made for a big slim line, but I just, you know, cut it down and cut it in half. I could have even cut it more. But the other thing I did was I wanted to make this I wanted to make like a cool water looking background, and I wanted to use this "You Turn My World Upside Down" message and use the turtles where one is right side up and one is upside down. I just thought that was really, really cute. And so I want to show you how I made this background today. So let me move this out of the way. And you can see I used my big 3-inch circle die too. I have all these dies that I used today. See, I have a tendency to, you know, Heather, you were talking about like whether or not you wanted to buy the dies with your stamp sets. Sorry, I'm having trouble focusing. Anyway, and I'm kind of the thing, I have a tendency to just grab my scissors and fussy cut. Unless I'm making a whole bunch like this. Like if I'm making gobs, then I just cut with the die cuts. But if I'm just gonna cut one thing, I have a tendency to just cut it out myself. So I don't always use my die cuts a lot. Circles, always. Basic shapes, always. So this one came out of this paper right here. Maybe was turned differently. There we go, like that. And I just picked the part that I thought looked watery and I grabbed it. And obviously I could do more, right? So what I did was, this is watercolor paper. This is the Tim Holtz watercolor paper, and it has a bumpy side. Let me see if I can show that. There, you can kind of see it bumpy, and then the other side is really smooth. And technically, like watercolorists, they use the bumpy side typically, but I'm going to use this side. And what I like to do is I like to use distress inks for this a little bit. So let me see, do I have everything I need? I'm just going to make a bit of a mess here on my counter. So I'm going to start with Speckled Egg, which is like a light gray color. And I'm just going to smush it onto my all-purpose mat. Now, if you don't have an all-purpose mat, they're amazing. But if you don't, this is kind of like those Teflon baking mats. So one of those would work to protect your desk. Also, you could use like wax paper, you know, just something glass would work. And then I just have this spritzer full of water. And so I'm going to spray some water on it. And I just want it to get nice and watery. And then I'm just going to pat my paper down into that color, and you can see it picks up that color. And if there's any areas that are too white, don't worry about it. A lot of times the water will make the color run a little bit and give you a really cool look. So normally I'd just set this aside to dry, but let me grab my paper towel. I'm just going to wipe that up. And then I'm just going to heat tool this and dry it just a little bit. See how it curls when it gets wet? You know, if you use normal cardstock on that, you would be like, what a mess, because it would just, it's not really made to absorb that much water. Now, it's not totally dry. But it's not bad. Now I'm going to go with the salvaged patina, which is kind of a turquoise color. But when I looked at the background of my paper, it was pretty close. I was like, I like that. So I'm going to smush the color on. I'm going to put it to the side here. And again, I'm going to spritz. And now I'm going to kind of go over. The cool thing about the distress inks is that it's not like one color completely will cover the other color. They kind of blend and mix in a way that you'll see both colors. And the idea is to make kind of a water look, and you can drag it if you want or tap. I kind of like the tap. All right, I'm going to wipe this off. This is just a dry paper towel that I'm using. And then the other thing I like to do is sometimes I'll take my water and I'll just flick drops at it. And sometimes that water will kind of interact a little bit with the ink. I want to get this flat so that we can play just a little bit more with it. So you can kind of see that it makes sort of a, well, it makes a background, right? That would be a cool background for a card. And you wouldn't have to, I mean, that really did not take much effort. I'm trying to hold it close to my camera because I noticed when I watched my video the last couple weeks, things feel very far away. So that's really neat. Cool. So the next thing I'm going to do, okay, this is just a stamping block. And I am going to take this is Glacier and it's a shimmer pen, right? And I'm just going to squeeze it until I can get a couple of drops. Come on. I think I need to replace my Glacier a little bit. My Glacier shimmer pen is my most used shimmer pen, which is weird, right? You would think clear. All right, come on. I'm squeezing it and it's like, it's not coming out. All right, maybe instead of Glacier, I'll use my Seabrook. That's better. This one tends to be messy. I'm gonna hold it closer to me so I have a little more control. My shimmer pens are not helping me today. Usually when you do this, it glops out everywhere. You have to be so careful. All right, what is going on? I think I have an airlock in there or something. There we go. I'm like, why isn't it squeezing? Okay, so I just want a little bit on here on my block, and then I'm gonna flick, onto my background. Can you see how cool that looks? I don't know how well, I'll hold that up close so you can see it, because some of my flicks are pretty small. All right, let me see. Ta-da! Isn't that neat? It gives it like a shimmery speckle. I just love it. And then I'll just wipe that off. I really wanted Glacier, but this is kind of a green color. I really do think I have like an airlock in there. Psh, there. I heard it. It kind of did like a little burp. There we go. See, I was like, why isn't that squeezing out? And then the higher you hold it up, typically the bigger your drops will be. Okay, clean up my mess. I'm really messy with this stuff, as you can see. So clean that off of my mat. And then I'm just gonna dab that one crazy splash. All right, and you can see how cool that background looks. And then if you use your, like, heat it, or, you know, let that dry a minute, and then you can use your circle and you can decide which area you want to use to make the coolest, you know, water look. Isn't that neat? I love it. Anyway, so now I have, you know, a couple of backgrounds. This one had a lot more. I used, I think I used sapphire or something along with these, and it made it very blue. And I would have rather used the more green one on this card, but we'll just go with it. Okay, so like that, we'll put that on, and then we have this, you turn my world upside down. I need to trim this down. This is like one of those ones, it's a little big. And I'm gonna do this to it. Like that. And then I'm gonna have one turtle up and one turtle down like that. And then I can use up my sequins. I can use more sequins to put on it. So let me go ahead and put some adhesive on here. Watercolor paper is pretty heavy, and so that's why I'm using a little more adhesive than I normally do. Sometimes I use the liquid glue on it because it's really strong. And we'll put him up there. I might use foam tape on this. Just fun, just because I can. Ta-da. I love that. And I'm covering up that little seam. Did you see that seam right there? And I'll put him upside down. Cute. Gosh, I really love that. I think that is so adorable. I know that paper looks so cool, Margie. And the really neat thing is, you know, sometimes they, close to my heart, will show some of their projects where they do that on a like on a scrapbook page, and you know, you hear people go, oh my gosh, I would never do that on my pages or whatever. But the truth is, all of that is acid free and safe for your photos, and it gives you a little chance to be artsy. You know, it's kind of a cool thing. I love that. So a couple of announcements I just want to make. It's so fun. So fun. I could have made it even look like little bubbles. Blah, blah, blah. I like how that looks. Cool. Okay. So I wanted to announce that Close to My Heart officially discontinued the Craft with Heart subscription kits. Those are the scrapbooking and card making kits that are in the catalog. Let me grab one. The one that was just sent out is the last one. This program. So they had a card making program and a scrapbooking program, super popular, but the prices of the items were going up, and they had to make a decision about how, I mean, the only thing they could do, they eat some of the shipping costs already. They don't charge full shipping of what it costs them, and the shipping was going to go up to some outrageous amount. And so they decided to discontinue this program, and instead they said they're going to have some other things that will take its place that they think people will really like, that maybe the shipping won't be quite so prohibitive. So that program is gone, and people who have a full year subscription, that last quarter, they'll get a refund. So yeah, it's a bummer, but that is one. And then also the next catalog, this ends in June. So the next catalog is like the July, August catalog. They're going to the 2-month catalogs again. And when we did this every 2 months, it really, I love to send these out to everybody, but it costs me about $3 or $4 a person to do that. And so I've been trying really hard to send them. I always send them to my hostess club. I will be happy to send them to all my VIPs if you need one. But otherwise, it's just going to customers who have purchased from me in the past. And when you place an order with Close to My Heart, you get one. So it's not like you have the option to add one on for the first time you order in a new catalog. So you can, it's not like you go without completely. The problem is you have to place an order without a catalog to start with. Like you have to, like shopping online, you know. That's not for everybody. I understand. And so I'm just wanting to make sure I don't go in the hole. Yeah, see, you get it free in the first time. Ta-da! There's my turtles. So those are my big things. And then the new Big Bertha catalog, you know, the giant annual one, it ends in July. And there will be a new catalog that starts August 1st. And there is discussion about, right now, supply issues overseas. And so they are trying to determine what they can really keep in stock and what they can't keep in stock. And obviously, some of the bigger things that are a problem are things that are like the mixed media items, are harder to keep in stock. So I suspect they will have fewer mixed media things in the next catalog. So if you love that kind of stuff, I suggest you buy it. Some of those things you can get anywhere, you know what I mean? They'll always carry, you know, your basic tools and blocks and inks and that kind of thing. They'll always carry that. But when it comes to, like, I just don't know. I don't know that they know whether they're going to carry like texture paste or the blending sponges, or how many distress inks. Maybe they'll just carry fewer colors. I just don't know. The stickles, they may not have all the colors. So these are all things that I'm just not sure. None of us are sure what's going to show up in the new catalog. That always surprise me, and I'm always happy. I mean, I have only had, in all my years of Close to My Heart, I've only had like 2 catalogs that I thought were meh, not great for the annual. These little 2-month catalogs, you know, sometimes you get stuff that's not your taste, but most of the time I love everything. Margie, you have an extra catalog. I appreciate that. And, you know, I don't really need an extra of this one right now, but if you pass it on to a friend, that's awesome. That helps me a lot. Anytime, all my business is word of mouth. So anybody you know who would like a catalog, just, yeah, please just pass it on. I order my catalogs way in advance. So, for example, the July catalogs, I've already ordered, which sounds crazy, but that's just how far in advance they work. So, I'm like looking at this and I'm like, what do you guys think of that one? I haven't seen any artwork with it. Maybe 1 or 2 little bookmark cards or something. I haven't seen a lot with the turtles though yet either. I've seen a lot of art with the bear, that bear. And I've seen several things made with, several scrapbook pages made with this balloon set that I thought looked really nice. Cool. This is very popular, the little hats, especially as the Hey Handsome is so popular. This is another set I have that I need to use, so I may use that on one of my lives. And this is the one I need for next week. I got 2 graduations next week. Can you believe that? Crazy. I haven't made my cards yet. So that is my live today. A little shorter, but that's okay. I think those little animals are cute, but they're, I don't know. I have so many others I would use over them that I didn't buy them this time. Normally I'm a sucker for all those little animals. I'm a big sucker for that, for the stamp of the month. Oh my gosh. Have you seen that one? Let me grab it. If I can find it. Oh, there it is. I'm gonna say, I was messing with it the other day. The little stinkers. It's so cute. This one's really adorable. I love that, you know, I stink at goodbyes. I smell a birthday. That's my favorite. That's one I would use the most. Welcome little stinker, to make like a little baby card or something. Stinking cute. That's really cute. Yeah, this is adorable. What I need to do is get out all my papers that I need to use up, my stash, and I need to make some cards and some things using this because it's really cute. So, but you will see some of these popping up. Thank you very much for watching, and I really appreciate all of the support. Right? Did you go to the Daisy Lane sale, Margie? Because honestly, woo, that they had tons and tons. You're welcome. Thank you, Heather. Thank you for watching. All right. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Have a good weekend. I know I spent a lot of money. It's embarrassing. Okay. I'll see you later. Bye.